What is going on today? We're going to be trying to get this running. My last video, we failed to get it running. I ran out of daylight. Today I'm going to be pulling the distributor cap off, cleaning that up in there. Possibly a no start or a no spark issue. And the other thing too is there's a little bolt hole in the intake. I'm going to take that bolt out. I believe that's a vacuum line for accessories that work off the vacuum. I'm going to be pulling that out, spraying that carb clean right into that hole instead of going through the carburetor. If it does start up, I might even get to, taking the carburetor off, and so we'll see how far we get. The main goal is to get it started up and see if she'll run. So let's get to it. Here we go. So right away, I found what the antenna is here off of the alternator, and that is the tack cable. So I guess as this spins, it's connected to that gear, and then this is supposed to be a cable in there that spins in there and goes up to your tack, and that's cut off, so that's not going to work. You can actually get those for pretty cheap. So there that is. And there's our TO35, and that serial number says it's a 57. Alright, let's get into this. First thing we're going to do is take that distributor cap off. Let's get over there. Alright, first thing we're going to be doing is taking this distributor cap off and seeing what it looks like in there to make sure we have good spark. Now the thing is, I think that's a hydraulic situation there, or maybe power steering. But anyways, pop these clips back. Take this off and see what she looks like in there. Doesn't look bad overall. We'll get a little rag and we'll clean that up. Alright, I don't know what's going on with my camera, but for some reason I'm not getting that footage. So, for the sake of it, we used this to clean the distributor cap. It really wasn't that bad. I don't even know if it was an issue. It actually looked pretty clean besides a little bit of cobweb up in there. It looked like there was a spider spot. But we sprayed that spider away with this stuff. I use electronics parts cleaner just in case, just for the sake of it. Why use, it's an electronic part, so I use this instead of carb clean. I'm sure carb clean will be fine. Alright, it's really starting to come down out here, but whew, we'll keep going with it. I think the snow is touching the touch screen on my camera and goofing me up. Alright, so I'm going to take the plug out of the side of the manifold really quickly, and then I'm going to spray some carb clean in it and see if she'll run. Alright, we're back. We got an umbrella going so I can keep the snow off my camera. I'm going to be taking a thing out of there, from under there. I'm just going to do that quick so we can get this thing done and spray some carb clean in the intake hole, and we're going to start it up. Little tiny guy here above the carburetor in the actual intake manifold. I believe that these spots were for a vacuum on the tractor, so you can run vacuum onto an implement or something. But I'm going to be spraying the carb clean right into this hole so we can get a direct shot into the cylinders. Alright, let's give this a go and see if she'll start. And just like that, it does start, which is great. Actually, that was a lot better. I think just spraying it into possibly the distributor cleaning helped. Also, I think spraying it into the carburetor is just so much space that it has to go up to get it into the intake, that it just wasn't enough. So now that I know it runs, which is awesome, my little leak in my hose, it's definitely the oil pressure gauge hose or tube or whatever you want to call it, going up to the gauge is leaking. I'm just going to clamp that off. I know it has oil pressure, at least somewhat, because it's pumping oil out of that hose. There's not a return line on it, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to clamp it off with a vice grip. The other thing I'm going to do is take off the, check to make sure our gas tank is clean inside. We're going to be taking off the carburetor, and we're going to be cleaning out the sediment bowl, which is the fuel filter on these old tractors. Let's get to it. Alright, so what we're working on is that sediment bowl right there. This glass bowl, we're going to be pulling that off. You know, these sediment bowls, it's such a nice thing to have. Even if they're not as good as the new filter, you know, it's so nice to be able to have something that you can just take off and clean yourself instead of having to run to the store. Well, that's pretty darn dirty. The seal on it doesn't look too hot. It looks like it's just a cork seal. I actually have cork material in the garage, so we can cut out our own. It doesn't look like that's too complex. So let's see. That's all the goo in there. That's definitely dirty. Well, luckily we cleaned that out good. And we got the seal too. Alright, I'm gonna have to go get a pack of wrenches so I don't mess this up. I want to take the whole bowl off because that screws right into the bottom of the gas tank. I'm gonna spray some WD-40 on it and get that taken out so we can actually clean it. The only problem is I'm gonna have to cut the hose for the gas line, so we'll get that too. Be right back. Alright, sorry I can't get the camera up there. It's just a really tight spot with this loader on it. I'm gonna try to get this fuel bowl off. This goes onto the sediment bowl. So it looks like what ended up happening at some point is they cut off the metal tube, probably rotted away or something, and put a rubber hose instead. But we'll keep that just in case we have to reuse that. It looks like a decent idea. Alright, and there we go. Good thing we took that out because there's a lot of goop on there and a lot of stuff fell out of the tank. I might even take the tank out of this just to kind of get that cleaned out a little bit better. But as you can see, we're pretty gummed up. It's probably old fuel, yeah. The other thing is this is not shutting off like it's supposed to either, so I think something's going on with the shutoff valve. This actually might be a replaceable thing, not a repairable thing. So for the sake of it being an important piece of the tractor, keeping the fuel clean. Alright, we're going to set this off to the side now. Let's get to the other side and get that carburetor off so we can see what that needs. See you in a few. Let's get that carburetor off, see what that's going to take. Hopefully we get some better shots. Alright, so all this is going to take is... our hose is already cut off on the other side. Not a big deal there. This is rigged up a little bit, the spring here. That's hooked to our carburetor with a piece of wire, so nothing crazy. And our linkage is going to be on that, which shouldn't be too hard to take off once we get it loose. We'll just leave that on for now. 1/2-inch wrench, and yep, that's it. Alright, that one came loose easy. Get in here on this one. Get a few turns on this. Probably come out pretty quick. Alrighty, well, that's just a nut. Okay, so we'll keep that on there. And then mostly the fingers are hard to get in here. See if you can get this here. Got linkage up here to the governor. I'm gonna guess that is, and that's a cotter key. That's a cotter key, and then we got another one down here, which is probably also a cotter key. Let's get this top one off first and see what we're doing here. And these things suck. Need one of those vice grip. Well, that broke off. Maybe that'll get her. There we go. Now she'll come out. That one came out nice. Now, same thing on this side. Got cotter P. And we're gonna get this one out easy. This one's gonna come easy, it said. Said it's gonna be easy, I don't know. Alright. Boom. And there we go. We got a carburetor out. I'm gonna take this in the garage and we're gonna clean this up. We're gonna take it apart, clean it, make it nice. I might have to buy a carb kit for it. Alright, just did a quick search. Sediment bulb, brand new, 20 bucks offline, Amazon or wherever tractor parts websites seem to sell them for about 20 bucks. Amazon or Tractor Supply sells one for about $35 for the Fords and the Fergusons and Masseys. So there you go. I think that's what I'm going to do with that. Carburetor wise, they actually sell one for 60 bucks on Amazon. I think I'm going to try to keep this one though, just for the sake of it being original. I'm going to buy a rebuild kit for it. They're $60 roughly. So that's where we're going to start out. Let me get a flathead. So today I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to put it in the parts washer. I have that ultrasonic cleaner. If you want to see a video on that, I did one on a Cub Cadet carburetor. And I've used it a few times. It seems to be working fine, so since I have it, I'm going to use it. Probably going to be... Oh, hopefully I didn't stab or break anything. Seems all good to go. There's your needle for adjustment. Looks like it had a little bit of water in there. There's a little bit of rust in the bottom of that. Pretty dirty. Especially with that gas dried up in there and kind of makes that scum. So that piece looks like you probably keep that and put it into the new seal, I would assume. There you go. And just so we remember, that goes towards our, that goes in there towards our, the engine side. One of the adjusters is here. So one's probably a more low end, and this one's probably the high end. That's pretty much it. We're going to take this off for the sake of it being out of the way. And that's pretty much it for that, for disassembly. So here's the disassembly part. It's very easy. 4 screws. Pop it in half. Peel back this. That comes off with your seal. There's really only one seal in this, and plus a top. Clean that up a bit. What I might end up doing is just putting a solid line on there so we know it's good. Got that off. I think just regular fuel line will work for that. You can swedge it however you want. This has a double swedge on it, so that's probably original. So I'll probably take it to the parts store, get this line. See if they sell a carb kit at Tractor Supply, and I'll get this done. We got this thing here. We're going to get this in the parts cleaner. This shouldn't be too tight. These are brass. That one came out easy. So we're going to take that out, put that to the side. And this one, you gotta watch with it. Same thing. I don't have a screwdriver long enough for that. Got a wide chisel. See if that'll do. That'll do. So there you go. Sometimes these can be stuck in pretty good. Luckily we're good here. We don't have to worry about that. There's a little seal on that too, so we'll put that back on. That guy's a 3/8. And, oh, good thing we brought that out too. There you go. Another thing, it's a little dirty. Dirty in that hole for sure. I think that's pretty good. We'll run in that cleaner just like this with hot water and vinegar and things. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to get it in the parts cleaner, the ultrasonic parts cleaner. You know, I might have to scrub this a little bit because it is pretty a little rusty and stuff like that. It's definitely usable and fixable. There's no doubt about that. I don't want to buy another one. And so that's that. The sediment bolt, like I said, 20 to 35 bucks. I'm just going to buy a new one versus dealing with that. So I have a brand new fuel filter that I know is going to work and it's not going to leak on me. I'm going to try to take the hood off and see how that goes. It's 2 bolts, that's all the thing that holds it on. But just how that loader is, it's hard to get under there. And I want to take that thinger off, the gas tank off, to clean that out too. Alright, here we are. So there's a bolt on each side right here on the bottom of the hood here. This is the front grille. This is the front grille section. This is the bottom of the hood. And there's one bolt that holds that on. I sprayed WD-40 on it already. Hopefully it comes out easy. There we go. We got the first one out. Didn't come too bad. We'll get the second one out. Here we are on the other side. Let's get this one out. And the ratcheting wrench comes in handy. We got that bad boy out. There we go. There we go, hood's off. Alright, so we ended up getting the fuel tank out really quick. And it wasn't too hard, it was just 2 bolts on the back. I'll loosen up the bolts on the front, I'll show you those. And I got that little oil line off. A little oil line, this is where it was leaking on me. It's pretty thin and rotted out, I just broke that off. Took a few bends and it just broke right off. So that's just, I think, brake line I can get. And it looks like the flares and everything are just like a brake line, so that'll be easy. There's our fuel tank. It looks like it is not rotted away, so that's good. I don't think there's any holes in it. Alright, so this is where our tank goes. So these back 2 bolts hold the back in, and it slides into these front bolts with the springs on them. You're able to loosen these up a little bit, and then you can tighten it down to get it on there better. This other one I got to loosen, this one I couldn't get to loosen, so I just had to pull it out. A lot of rat stuff or mice stuff here. The battery box is rotted away. I'm going to make a piece of sheet metal that sits over this. Looks like possibly a power steering line. I don't know what this is. I think it's a power steering line. That looks broken right there. So there you go. Got wore out probably from the battery sitting on it. Doesn't look like it should be that high if the battery's sitting that low, unless there was a platform that the battery sat on. So with all that being said, we got the carburetor taken apart, the bowl off, the sediment filter taken off, gas tank out. We got that little oil pressure line taken out. And I'm going to see what I can buy locally tonight, and if I can get it tonight, then tomorrow. As long as it's not raining or doing something crazy, I'll be out here working on this thing again and have another video for you. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.